First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper.
Put it in the upper right-hand corner just like a postage stamp. That's a good bingo.
Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
The 2024-25 season for the Blue Jackets starts today. Welcome to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott, and lo and behold, you can tell that the season started again. Because guess who's back with me? My longtime regular co-host, Jody Shelley. Jody, welcome back to the show. Welcome to a brand new Blue Jackets season.
Well, thank you, Bob McElligott. Great to be back with you. Another season here with the Blue Jackets. 24-25 season is upon us, and it is, the summer always seems long. And then all of a sudden it's Labor Day, and here we go. The Blue Jackets are doing their physicals. They did their physicals this morning. They're testing, and I consider that the worst day of a professional hockey player's season, because all summer you worry about the body fat, the testing to see how good a shape you're in. So those things are they happen this morning, so they're done. The players now, as we talk about getting into this season, now they're ready for the first on-ice session. And there's only two groups at the Blue Jackets training camp this year. In the past few years, there's been three groups. So less players, more defined here, and they're going to get down to that probably team pretty quick with the Blue Jackets. And, hey, I'm just excited to be here with you.
Let me ask you about that, the number of players in camp, because you were in many camps in the time that you were playing. Big camp, smaller camp, what's preferable?
Small. And it's nice to go through some of the cuts and still be around. But I remember one of my favorite camps was in Philadelphia, where it was two teams, the NHL team and the American Hockey League team. And then players in between were going up and down in between those two teams. So, and there were players that were veteran guys who would be sent to practice to the American Hockey League team. I think Torts did this too, here with the Blue Jackets. Just to kind of send that message like, hey, you didn't come in the shape we asked you to. You haven't had a great first couple of games. It's kind of an accountability thing. So I like that. I'm not sure if they set it up this way this year for the Blue Jackets, Dean Evison and his team, his coaching staff. But I like the small numbers. It gets you into your group quick.
Hey, I talked with him and Don Waddell yesterday, and they were very honest about that at the very beginning. They said, we're going to keep this small. And I think that the way that things have transpired here over the last couple of weeks, especially, and what this organization has gone through, they feel small is going to be good for numerous reasons. Number one, you're going to get a little bit more attention. You're going to get a little bit more evaluation. If you're a young player that's looking to make an impression, you're going to get the opportunity to do that a little bit more. And then, with the tragedy that we've encountered here in the last couple of weeks, this small group will be able to come together relatively quickly.
Yeah, this is when you spend so much time together as a team during the regular season, there is a family-like atmosphere and you got to think about the spouses and the other members of their family that aren't at the rink practicing and doing those things. This affects our entire community. When you think of that close-knit community, that family-like atmosphere in the locker room, I agree. Those players need attention. They need each other. They need to be around the familiar faces and grieve through this first part of camp, I would say.
I haven't talked to you since Johnny Gaudreau, since his passing, he and his brother Matthew. You talk about community, and it made me think, even yesterday, I was going to get a haircut before I had to do an event yesterday afternoon. And now where I go, they know what I do for a living, but it's not like they're hardcore hockey people that, we talk about hockey all the time when I go there. And I got asked the question, immediately, hey, how are things? It was so sad to see your player that passed away. So it is full community, and it's still there, and it's going to be there for this team for a long, 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 long time, obviously. But it also may be a little bit therapeutic this week. Do you agree to get back on the ice and get back to work?
I would say so. They're all in a very similar boat, and to lose a teammate, someone they loved and worked with in such a horrific way, and to realize he's not around anymore, he's gone, and his brother Matty, it's and you think about his family and the wives that have interacted with Meredith and their son or their daughter, and you know how she's going through it, and their kids, and it's just you don't really know the impact to the players and their families and where their hearts and minds are at times. So being familiar and being on the ice, and I saw some quotes yesterday from some guys about not having Johnny around, and what they remember is him walking in the locker room and lifting spirits and having a very carefree attitude. And, you know, it's a legacy kind of that he's leaving with these young guys that'll never leave them. And hopefully that brings them spirit here as they go through camp. But I would agree. I mean, I think when you put on the equipment and you're the hockey player and you can focus on your job here for a few minutes or a couple hours a day, they can do that together, and that's probably the point they've been looking to get to here the past few weeks.
Talk about that, the way he used to bring joy into the locker room. Dean Evason said yesterday that they had a lot of discussions about how to handle what they're going to do at this training camp with their videos. He said one thing that we talked about is, do we want to leave Johnny in these videos that we're playing for the players as we're looking to implement a system? Do we leave his highlights in there, or do we take them out? And he said we decided that we're leaving them in there because we're going to learn from him. We're going to watch what he did as a player, and we're going to use that to learn. He said we're going to keep his stall in the room. We're going to hang his jersey every night before games, both home and on the road. And, you know, I think that's I just think that's the way that you really should go about it. I mean, it is incredibly sad, but there is something to take away from it where you can still feel that presence and you can use it to help to drive you.
Wow, that just gave me chills because, yeah, that's I think that's a great plan. You know, he's a part of this team in many different ways, and he was a part of what was going to happen here in the next few years and seasons to come. He's already had an impact in the ways we've seen on the ice, but as a person is what really matters here. And I think that's that's a great spirit to carry throughout this season and beyond.
As they get on the ice tomorrow for the first time, I also thought it was interesting that Dean laid it out. I asked him, you know, you've done training camps before when you coached the Minnesota Wild, so this is not like starting from scratch for him. Not a first-time NHL head coach. He has an idea. He's got a plan. And he was very it sounded to me very simple. He said, we're going to come out, and on the first day, we're going to work offensive zone. On the second day, we're going to work neutral zone. On the third day, we're going to work defensive zone. All through those days, we're going to work special teams because that's been a problem here the last couple of years. But then we'll get to that fourth day, and we're going to have the scrimmage. So, and that leads you right to day 5, which is your first preseason game in Buffalo. So he has it laid out very simply, simple for him to talk about it, and they're going to have to go out and execute it. But I just kind of like the plan. It's just like, look, we're boom, A, B, C, D, here we go.
Yeah. You can tell he's a no-nonsense guy. He's not going to overthink much, and he's really going to rely on his assistant coaches for a lot of their input, which really creates that team atmosphere. When you talk about the systems, I immediately go to these players have had to deal with 3 different systems in the past 3 seasons. This is the 4th, or over the past 4 years they've dealt with. Now this is the 4th in 4 years. When you look at the coaches who've come in here, and boy, I hope it's close to one of the other ones that were played. Now you can do things a little bit differently in a lot of different situations. It's not reinventing the wheel, but there is that hesitation that's sometimes caused when you're a player that has to learn a new system. And, I played for a few different teams in a short period of time. You pick it up pretty quick, but when you have young players especially, sometimes you can just get a little bit of a hitch, which creates a little more space for the opposition. So I'm sure he's cognizant of that, of course, and what he's dealing with here. But that's a huge step. How you play, and it needs to be something that is you don't even think about. It's so reactive. It's such a team effort in your role within the 5 guys plus the goaltender on the ice of how that system is played in the D zone, which has been a problem here for the Blue Jackets. That's got to be their emphasis. The neutral zone is that zone of transition and where you can create to get in the offensive zone. And then the offensive zone, sometimes the coaches just let their forwards kind of go and be creative. but you have to have one forward thinking defensively at all times, kind of covering up for the deep check. But I think the forecheck is going to be something that this team with Dean Evason, it's going to be interesting to watch. I hope it's high tempo and in your face. And you hear a lot of quotes at a lot of camps right now. And every team wants to be aggressive and high tempo. And, the word that's thrown around is relentless, of course. That's hard to play against. And for the Blue Jackets here, we hope to see that product on the ice this year.
You mentioned all those different systems that they had to learn. And if you go back to John Tortorella, that was an established National Hockey League coach. And I'm not knocking anybody else, but, Brad Larson was a first-time NHL coach. We all know what happened here last year where there was a change made only 5 days before the players got on the ice. So that was really not a great situation for the players to be in. And whether that system was put into place over the summer and they were trying to implement it, it didn't matter. I mean, it was just totally different.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, I mean, here, to me, it's going back to that, here's a guy that's done it before. And I would think for the players, after going through what they have over the last 3 years, there's got to be at least some of them. The veteran guys have got to feel like, well, thank goodness. Like, this is just what I want to get back into. I want to be told what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Show me a plan. Let's execute the plan, and let's just play.
Yeah, and, Evason played in the National Hockey League as a player for a long time. He's coached now for a long time. And I just, no knock on anybody else that's ever been here as a coach, because I've never been a coach. I wouldn't think they'd go in and try to reinvent everything that's ever been done in hockey the last 100 years. But there is an evolution to the game. And I think that both guys, Larson and Vincent, they're modern day coaches. They think, they use the stats. They use that deep information to try to implement their systems. And when I look at Evason, I think he's an old school guy that just goes back to simple coverage, hard work first, and effort. And as a player, speaking personally, a former player, long time ago now, but I like.
Does it ever feel like it was just yesterday?
Every day.
Or are you beyond that?
Every day. But it creates that. There's a confidence in knowing that. In just knowing that it'll be a simple way to play.
And, so I'm sure those guys are looking forward to that and getting back on the ice and getting to work and doing all those things. So day one of camp today, as we said at the beginning, as Jody told you, going through the testing and all of that stuff. You said it was the worst day. You thought it was the worst day. So is it all downhill from here?
Yeah.
As soon as you know you're in shape and you pass the test?
Personally, because, and there's nothing that's certain in the National Hockey League, but you have your summer to prepare. And a lot of these players have been sent in April with their message, hey, get stronger, get faster. We want you to weigh this. You got to cut body fat. You got to be, whatever it is, you got your orders. So when you come back, you have to prove that with the testing, the bike, the pull-ups, the squat, the bench, all stuff that is pretty good. But you want to be in the top quarter of or top five for some of these guys of being conditioned to show that you're committed and in shape. And that's not an easy task. The testing, I never slept the night before usually, so you go in kind of in that mode where you're just pounding coffee and trying to be awake. But yeah, I don't know. I think the body fat is usually the one that it's the hardest because you're eating just salad or lettuce and chicken for the last 40 days. So now you're looking to get a good pasta meal in and gear up for being on the ice in training camp. But it's the worst because of the anxiety going in, the unknowns. And for me, being a bubble guy a few years in my career, was I going to get the job or was someone else? And that's stressful.
Yeah, that would be stressful. That would help you lose weight right there.
That's why I had good body fat.
All right, we've got much more to talk about with training camp opening. Also want to tell you, new this season, don't miss the Pick 6 Flex Plan presented by Franklin University. Choose any 6 games that you want and save up to 20% off single-game ticket prices. Plus, purchase before October 16th and receive a bonus ticket to see the Blue Jackets take on the Buffalo Sabres on Wednesday, October 17th. Get yours today at bluejackets.com/pick6. Back with more of the Inside Edge here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dort, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
With so much happening every day,
ABC6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
Do you believe Columbus City Schools is in a PR crisis?
Central Ohio's most experienced team of reporters, persistent in getting answers to the questions you're asking.
Are you worried about how people are going to react?
And when you need us, ABC6 News is on your side, finding solutions.
6 on your side, they're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC6 News to be on your side.
ABC Tonight.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Joan's getting a second chance.
This is about everybody like me, navigating, trying to find love at this age.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't have hope.
Because love never ages.
Golden age doesn't mean you're old. Old is a state of mind. I got a lot of living to do.
The Golden Bachelorette.
Tonight at 8 on ABC6.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
As the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bread Financial is ready to join the fifth line and light the fuse. And that's not just cannon fodder. They offer simple, personalized payment, lending, and savings solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings, CDs, and even buy now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for any budget. Shoot and score at breadfinancial.com.
The Blue Jackets have partnered with Ohio Health and Greif to work with 170 Central Ohio schools and reach over 55,000 students by bringing the fun of hockey to the classroom through the Power Play Challenge. The free hockey-themed wellness program meets Ohio standards for physical education curriculum for grades 2 through 5 and aims to keep kids active while encouraging healthy choices. To learn more, visit bluejackets.com/powerplay-challenge.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. The Blue Jackets will look different this season. There were some players that were added during the offseason, and they were added at different times during the offseason, Jody. Let's start with a guy that was here before and is coming back again, and that is defenseman Jack Johnson. I had him here a couple of weeks ago. I thought he was terrific. I thought he is in the best mindset that I have ever seen him in. Even back to when he played here before. I mean, he was great. He was a great contributor when he was here the first time around. He comes back as a Stanley Cup champion now, a guy that understands his role on this team, and I think a guy that's going to be very valuable on the blue line.
I agree. I mean, Jack Johnson was here. He's a guy that came up as a young man. He went to school as a 16, 17-year-old with Sidney Crosby. Good friends with him. He's competitive. He's built like a linebacker. Like he really is. And I caught up with Jack this summer. Our kids are both in hockey practice. His daughter's younger, but the same time slot, half-ice practices. So, I'm sitting there with Jack. I'm in flip-flops. He's in flip-flops. We both don't have our certification done to be on the ice. We're both talking about that. But just catching up with him, his wife, Kelly, and family was actually living in Dublin the entire time Jack was in his last few stops. And, that's been hard for him. So he is ecstatic. His brother-in-law, Brady Quinn, has moved back to the area with his family and their 5 kids. So you got A.J. Hawk with Laura and their kids, Brady with his wife and their kids, and now Jack. They're all related. They're all in the same family. So they all married the Quinns. And so for him, he's just thrilled to be back. I agree with his mindset. And I caught up with him last year when we were in Colorado, I think, or I don't know if I was doing a playoff game or we were doing the Colorado game.
We talked in Colorado after the morning skate. Remember in the dressing room? You had a really good conversation with him there.
Yeah, and I was just so impressed with, and you think about it, he's coming from, he won a Stanley Cup with Colorado. He ended up back there last year. And, for Jack Johnson to be in the room with Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Cogliano, just the pieces that he's seen now in the past couple of years, plus the cup, the experience, and he's got no time for foolishness. He is show up, and you better be ready to work out there. I love that for the older guys, or for the younger guys to have Jack Johnson in the room. I love it for the older guys too, because I always go to this. You're always looking to someone to take the temperature of whether it's after a win or a loss. Kind of, what's the mood? What should the mood be? What should we do in this situation? And I think for Boone, Goodbranson, Werenski, I think he's a good fit. And his level of appreciation plus that in itself, I think makes it a no-brainer. He's a guy, I talked to him about the curve on his stick. He is so old school, how he trains. He's not changing his training. He goes to Florida for 3 weeks by himself with a trainer. Skates. He's done it for years. He keeps those things up. Can't change his curve. He's got an old heel curve, and I use the same one when I played. And I told him, I said, I went to my basement to try to use one of those things. I said, I don't know how I played hockey with that stick, because everyone now has got the Connor McDavid PP28. It's a toe curve. You can handle the puck better. He goes, I tried that thing. I can't do anything with it. So I like that fabric of him. He knows exactly what he is out there. He's big, hard to play against, and he's strong. So he still trains that way. And a lot of older guys would get to the point, and I did this in my career, try to get faster, try to give up a little strength to get a little quicker. And he's like, no, I know how I play. If you go in the corner with me, I want to come out with the puck. And I think that's a good element, that predictability with Jack Johnson on the ice and off the ice.
Whose daughter is more feisty on the ice, yours or his?
My daughter's 14, and so she's... I would say, and his daughter's probably 9 or 10. My daughter can be mean. My daughter would rather run someone over.
Where would she get that?
Yeah, I don't know. She would rather run someone over, and she smiles when she does it, and there's no contact. His daughter's just getting into it, so I'd say his daughter's quick too. So I'm sure she's not afraid to. She's not going to back down from anybody.
All right, let's talk about another new addition. Via free agency, Sean Monahan came over and signed a 5-year deal here. Of course, Sean, one of the big selling points for him was he was going to play with his best friend, Johnny Gaudreau. And now, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But Sean Monahan gives this team something they've been looking for a long time, and that is an experienced centerman and one that can play on the top line if they need him to.
Yeah. I talked to Trevor Letowski, who had Monahan last year in Montreal. Trevor was a player here. He's an assistant coach there with Marty St. Louis. Talked to him throughout the season, and I asked him about Monahan, and he said, this guy is so underrated. And the other guy they have there is Kirby Dach. Kind of a similar situation. Kirby's a lot younger. But center ice, if he can stay healthy, great talent, smart with the puck. He's that type of player, and his issue has been in the past is his health. And him and Johnny Gaudreau were part of a great Calgary Flames team there. They grew up in Calgary together. And you get a player who's at a point, he played with Goodbranson in Calgary. Monahan did. I think when you get a player who realizes, because I think we've come in as one of those high picks, expectations might precede you a little bit for where you fit in. And he found a role with Sutter and just couldn't stay healthy. I think he comes in here knowing his responsibility and what's going to be asked of him. So I like the signing. I really do. But again, with every player, as long as they can stay healthy, let's talk about a healthy Monahan. I think it's a sneaky, under-the-radar, very good signing for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And he's been the kind of player that makes the guys around him better.
Yeah.
Which is going to be really important, especially here now, because, who knows who he's going to be playing with. But, you get a young guy out there, you need somebody that's going to help them to get better.
Well, there's so many nuances throughout the game that happen, and it's nice to have a veteran guy to be able to go back to Jack Johnson. Even Werenski can pick his brain. You know what I mean? Another Michigan guy, of course. Right. This at some point needs to switch a little bit. Oh, my goodness.
Jack told me that Zach has got to be like the go-between, because there's different generations now, right?
He is.
He goes, Zach's my contact guy. I don't really know these other guys. They're too young, but Zach will be my go-between.
But there's an element in-game, in practice, after a game, before a game, where you can go to a veteran and just confirm how you feel or what you think. And for the center ice position, which if you watch the puck being dropped, it's hard to figure out exactly what's going on. But these guys have the cadence of when the referee's hand is out, when the second guy gets in. It's a feel thing. So I think of guys like Sillinger, Voronkov, who's going to be taking faceoffs. The communication on the ice, the help in situations on the bench, it's invaluable. And plus, a guy that makes other players better is an unselfish player, and that's important within a team. So he seems like a quiet guy. I don't think I've ever met him. Looking forward to meeting him. He seems like a quiet guy. He seems like a guy that you have to have a skill set, and you have to be smart to make other players better. You have to bring players to you, then good players in positions to get the puck in a prime position. And if he can be a catalyst of a lot of offensive zone plays, plus help kind of slow things down, I'll say, in the defensive zone. Sometimes it can be whipping around out there. It's nice to have a guy like that for the coach and the players.
All right, let's talk about a guy that you know very well, who was just signed a couple of days ago, and that's your former teammate in Philadelphia, James Van Riemsdyk. JVR is now a Blue Jacket. When I was talking with Don Waddell yesterday, I said that, you introduced me to James years ago when he was playing in Toronto, and the thing that I love about him the most is every time he sees you, it's a smile, it's a handshake, it's a how you doing. And that might sound like it's not a big thing, but it is such a big thing because it really tells the personality of somebody, and that they're a caring personality and just an all-around good guy. And Don Waddell said that was the number one thing. I want good people in this organization. So that was first and foremost. Of course, JVR now has a young family, so he's into that, and he's a good dad. He's a great dad and all that stuff. But guess what? He's still a good hockey player, 35 years old. He still puts up points, and he still has something to give here. Did you talk to him at all before he signed, or did you know that was coming?
I talked to him a little while ago. He was in a position of trying to figure out what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for an older player to realize that the options aren't flooding in at a certain point in your career. And I was excited when he brought up Columbus because I think that, he was the number 2 pick behind Patrick Kane that year. He went to University of New Hampshire. His brother plays in the National Hockey League too, Trevor. His other brother plays hockey. His dad, Franz, is I don't know how these parents do it, but they just crank out hockey families, And James came into Philadelphia with the Flyers, and we had Pronger, Timonen, Hartnell, Laviolette was the coach, Wayne Simmons, Claude Giroux. We had a good hockey team. And he learned a lot from Pronger. He learned a lot as a young pro. And then he goes to Toronto and plays for Babcock with Matthews, Marner. Complements them very well. He knows his role in front of the net on the power play. He's worked at his game. He's always had really good hands. And, he sees a fit here. He's a guy that would have went through the lineup before he made that decision to see where he would fit in. So he's got very high expectations of himself personally. But I like his interaction. I remember being his age. I was a little older. I was 37. He's 35. I was 35, 36, 37 when I was in Philly. And he was 23, 24, 25 or something like that, and young and single and just really focused on hockey. It was great. But I remember being what I could be to him. Like, I would say, James, don't worry about that. Like, you're worrying about the wrong things. Or it's just like, come on, let's go have a sociable tonight. Oh, really? Yeah, let's go. Don't get so excited about kale on the buffet. Come on, let's go. Let's go have a burger and fries, just to kind of lighten him up. And I see him doing those things. There's things that you can impact a player, especially young players, that there's so much to think about now. So much with equipment, so much with training, so much with mental toughness. And really, I think it comes down to being in situations with your teammates. They can help you the most. You can have outside resources, but I think at the end of the day, the impact the older teammates can have on the young players is huge. So those 3 guys we just talked about, they're here for the right reasons for this organization that has been one of the youngest teams in the league for a long time now. It's getting those top draft picks. It's going to pay off at some point, but making sure they learn and grow from the right people is a key element to getting them. You can get them, and they can learn the wrong way and create the bad habits and never have the NHL experience where you're impacted by the older players. And I talk to Crosby from time to time, and there's been conversations where I've asked him about the importance of the older guys when he came in. And remember, when he was known as a guy that was arguing with the refs and whatever, whining, and that was straightened out by the veterans in the locker room. Pull him aside and say, "Hey, we don't do that anymore." And look who he is now. He's it's his 20th season, I think, with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just signed a new deal. Didn't take. He probably could have got $12 million. He didn't do that. He understands what he's a part of, and that's. I think it's not just how he grew up. I think there's an impact from Mark Recchi, Bill Guerin, Hal Gill, even those players that were around, Colby Armstrong, those players that helped groom him as a young man. I think that's where James and Jack and Sean come into this organization and are going to really, we're going to see a lasting impression on some of these players.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, it looks like they were the right guys. We'll see as it goes along, but it looks like they were all very good choices to bring in. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the other side of the puck. And when I say that, I mean the goaltending, the defense. These things are going to be extremely important. They're going to be focused on a lot in camp. We'll talk about it as the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank continues on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a new golfer, think beyond the green and head over to X-Golf Columbus and X-Golf Powell. Come experience the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world at X-Golf. A fun venue with great food, excellent service, and a full bar. You can play around on one of our 50 courses, take a lesson from our PGA Pro, hit the driving range, join a league, or just sit back and sip a beer on the outdoor patio. Book your tee time today at playxgolf.com. X-Golf Columbus and X-Golf Powell, the home of indoor golf.
This Saturday, choose chill and grab a Coors Light. Press play on Ohio State football and pause on everything else. We know there's nothing like game day in Columbus. So whether you're at the tailgate, the bar, or just watching from home, choose the one beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics 2024. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
Here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family, like the Toyota Truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
To Central Ohioans, fall means one thing, football. At Sears Heating and Cooling, fall also means one thing, furnaces. We're not plumbers or electricians. Nope. For 74 years, we've been your Central Ohio heating and cooling experts. Need an electrician or plumber? We'll gladly give you a referral, but we won't pretend to be your one-stop shop for all the trades. We're HVAC experts, and our mission is to provide the highest quality service at the best possible price. That's the local advantage of doing business with your neighbors at Sears Heating and Cooling. Online at SearsHeatingCooling.com.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I want to remind you not to miss a moment of Blue Jackets hockey this season at Nationwide Arena. Single game tickets are on sale right now. Learn more at bluejackets.com/on sale. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody Shelley. Training camp officially open for the Blue Jackets today. The team will be on the ice for the very first time tomorrow, and they're working up to the intra-squad game, or the scrimmage game, on Sunday at the Ice House. I think it's at the Ice House. Anyway, it's going to be at the arena, the Ice House. It'll be here, so make sure that you're here on Sunday. All right, Jody, let's talk about the back end of this team because Dean Evanson said this yesterday. He said, people say, how are you going to make up for the loss of offensive production with Johnny Gaudreau? And he said, the first thing I say to them is, we got to keep more pucks out of the net. That's going to help first and foremost. So the goaltending situation here, same guys. Elvis Merzlikins, Daniil Tarasov, Jet Greaves are the three main guys that are going to be in camp. It would appear on the surface Elvis and Daniil will be here again. Jet will be going back to Cleveland, but you never know what happens in the way of injury or anything like that. But a healthy Daniil Tarasov, I think, is going to be the biggest key to this group.
We hope. There's signs of that, but there's still a lot of uncertainty there. And I think Elvis is very interesting. Mm-hmm. I think Elvis, I really feel for Elvis Merzlikins. And, we don't know a lot about his life when he grew up over in Switzerland or when he played in Switzerland and grew up in Latvia. But, it wasn't easy. And then the Kivlenieks tragedy that he was a part of a few years ago, and now another teammate gone. I really feel for Elvis Merzlikins. And, this is a guy that wants to be the best. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of finding his game. And so I'm pulling for Elvis Merzlikins. I really am. And it's one of those situations where Don Waddell came in and made a couple changes. Patrick Laine is now gone. He's in Montreal. He's happy about that. That's great. And we wish Patrick Laine the best because he needed to take a step away from the game last season to kind of find his way a little bit. And he was struggling off the ice. And you think about the human element of it, especially you get reminded with what's happened here in the past couple of weeks. And, he lost his dad a few years ago, who he said was his best friend. And there's a lot there for Patrick. So we wish him the best, and he needed a change. And I don't think there's any hard feelings with Patrick saying what he said. He still admired and loved his time here in Columbus. And we wish him the best as a person, as a player. But when you think about Elvis, I think about that first. Like, how is he doing? I hope that he finds some comfort in being on the ice and being able to play kind of a free brand of hockey because he's a great athlete. He's a guy that has the potential to be that goaltender, and he wants to be the best in the National Hockey League. Let's see if he can do it this year. He's been here long enough now that he can settle into that. Jet Greaves, to me, I'm a fan of all three, but Greaves is one of those guys that he comes up, does his job, gets sent down. Consummate pro. There's going to be a spot for Greaves at some point, but right now you're right. There's two big contracts ahead of him. I heard this the other day. It's to add one goal a game in the National Hockey League is hard. I mean, you can't plan to add one goal a game. It's easier to try to protect and keep one goal out of your net a game, and that's a team effort. That's not just defense and goaltender. That's forwards as well. How they manage the puck in the neutral zone. Making plays of certainty at times. And I think that the team defense is going to be the big key, but when you have defensemen that can move pucks out of the zone, be on the same page, work together, work with the goaltender, and then have a goaltender to make that save, it's critical. Everyone has their roles out there. And goaltending is the most fascinating one because it's highlighted when it's one-on-one. It's goals that should not have gone in by the goaltender's reaction. I don't know it. I don't judge those because I've never played. I was a goalie once when I was 9 years old, and I said I would never do it again. And it's that type of position, so it's unique, and it's lonely, and they're in their head a lot. They spend a lot of time in their head and wondering and waiting and reading and assessing. But, you hope those things come together. You see teams throughout the season adjust in different areas, right? Power plays hasn't scored in 10 games. Was it Pittsburgh last year? They had a drought with that great power play. Mm-hmm. Carlson comes in. You think that's going to be the greatest power play we've ever seen. They were terrible. And so then that's your focus. Make it better, make it better. For the Blue Jackets, it's very easy. They need to keep pucks out of their own net. That has been a sore spot for them the past few years. So that'll be the focus of Evason. And everyone else, but it's not on one person. It's everyone needs to raise their level a little bit, goaltending, defensemen, but they need to have a singular focus. Like if you get the puck in the corner on the right side, where's your support? What is everyone else doing to make sure you've got options and ways to get it out?
When I said that, to me, the big key is a healthy Daniil Tarasov. The biggest reason for that is it'll create a sense of competition.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that'll work well for both of those guys, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You see a lot of teams going to that two goaltender, the tandem.
Yeah.
And Ullmark is gone now from Boston, so it's Swayman who's looking for a contract. They did it. They did it well. They lived in a world where everything was kosher. They were happy that Ullmark was happy for Swayman. Swayman was happy for Ullmark. Is that the perfect world? Maybe. Maybe that's, you split the games. But I like having one starting goaltender. I think that's a key where you have one guy emerge and then you have the other guy fill in and take a lot of the workload. But have the one guy emerge and say, okay, I'm playing 50 games. These are them. So he knows when he's going in and when he's not. And what's interesting about the two goaltender system, and I talked to Brian Boucher about this. He used to be a goalie. I play with him now. He's a TV analyst. He said it's like a starting pitcher. When it's a rotation, I know I'm not playing on Tuesday, so it's Sunday. I'm going to put everything into this game. I'm going to put it all into this game tonight, and I know that I have rest coming Monday and Tuesday, and the other guy's carrying the weight. It's just a slight different way to think about it, but I found it very fascinating because he said, yeah, you could get into that alternating rhythm and realize, or 2 and 2, where I know, and you were you've been in the baseball world for a long time. Those rotating pitchers, they check out for a couple days, right? And then they check back in.
And they love it.
They love it
because they know what their schedule is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very simple. Like, I'm going to pitch today, and 2 days later, I'm going to throw aside in the bullpen, and then I'm going to come back again, and I'm going to start.
Maybe they can get to that here. You know what I mean? Where it's like, all right, guys, you're going to play 3 in a row, or you're going to play one each. You're going to alternate every game. And then it's like, all right, I'm going to put everything I got, like every fiber of my body into tonight's game, knowing that tomorrow or the next, I get 3 days before I have to start again. Then those couple days of practice, that ramping up for your start again is different. Whereas if you're on the bench and you know you're not going to play the next 5, well, your practices are important, but still, there's going to be that the mentality of certainty for an athlete. I think is very important.
Yeah, and when you get to the playoffs, when you have a guy that's playing 65 games and the other guy's playing 17, and you get to the playoffs, then they're trying to get rid of that fatigue factor.
Well, what if I'm playing tonight and it's not going well and it's like I'm not feeling it, or we got another game. Let's just try to get through this one. Well, no, it's not getting through it. It's earning your battle for that. You're still in the rotation for the next, not the next game, but the one after. I like that part of it too.
All right. I want to talk with about the D with you in just a moment, but we'll take one final break, come back and wrap up this week's edition of the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Rita, hold head. Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This Saturday, choose chill and grab a Coors Light. Press play on Ohio State football and pause on everything else. We know there's nothing like game day in Columbus. So whether you're at the tailgate, the bar, or just watching from home, choose the one beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics 2024. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Fall favorites
Apples are back in season this week at Meijer. Find locally grown and freshly picked apples in the produce department. Plus, get fresh from Meijer family pack boneless chicken thighs for $2.99 per pound. And Meijer potato or tortilla chips, 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And you'll always get the same low price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Find everything you need in just one stop when you shop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Here are 5 great reasons to get a Blue Jacket season ticket plan this season. 1. Choose the games you just gotta see. 2. Plans start at just 11 games. 3. Savings up to 40%. 4. A ticket trade program for games you can't make. And 5. Invitations to exclusive events all year long. Come on, need more reasons? Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets today.
Every breakaway, every penalty kill, every check into the boards, it all takes hard work. And hard work needs advanced rehydration. That's why the Columbus Blue Jackets choose Pedialyte as their official hydration partner. Pedialyte has twice the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. Hydrate like the pros and make Pedialyte a part of your exercise routine. Per liter, Pedialyte has at least 1,030 milligrams of sodium and no more than 25 grams of sugar. Leading sports drinks have approximately 460 milligrams of sodium and 58 grams of sugar.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McGilligan. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. First show of a new season. And Jody, let's talk about the defenseman because it's going to be relatively the same. And I say relatively because Adam Boquist has moved along. Jake Bean has moved along. For Damon Severson, it's his second year here. He gets to come in a little bit more fresh this year, just understanding the organization more. Eric Branson is now fully entrenched here as a third-pair defenseman. I think that's good. Zach Werenski, healthy coming into camp. That's always good. But, there will be some changes. We talked about Jack Johnson. Jordan Harris was picked up in the Patrick Laine trade. How's he going to fit in here? But for the most part, I think it's going to be about just the guys that were here before getting a little bit better. And then you got your wild cards, your David Juricheks, your Denton Matejchuks. How are they going to affect things that happen here?
Yeah, and I'll go to the veterans first. I think a guy like Goodbranson, he knows what he is. And as a fan, we know exactly what he brings. Toughness, stay-at-home guy, hard to play against. Jack Johnson's going to be the same thing, maybe a little more of a hitter. Severson, to me, got caught in between a couple positions last year, offensively and defensively. A guy that overpasses, he admits it himself sometimes, instead of taking that shot, looks off for the pass. He is a very good passer. Let's see if he settles in, kind of like a Zach Werenski this year. Let's see if he settles in and where he settles in with this team. So those 4 guys for me stand out. Juracek, I think there's a fresh start for him. New coach, new coaches, new general manager. What is he going to look like in camp? Where is the possibility of him fitting in here? Matejchuk, I've heard nothing but great things. We all have, but now it's a National Hockey League. Watching him play, he's a very calm player. He seems like he always makes the right play. Good skater. those things you can admire in a young defenseman, and a guy that you don't really notice. We've said this before, but a defenseman you don't really notice throughout a game, a 60-minute hockey game, is a compliment to a defenseman. Just gets it done right. I kind of feel like he is that, and let's see. And I think there's a maturity with Jiricek that when that happens, when you don't notice him as much, that he's improving.
David Jiricek, last year in Cleveland, he did improve, and by the end, he was great in the playoffs. And I talked with somebody about that during the summer, and they told me that Mike Haviland was fantastic for him. Mike is now on this coaching staff. He will be with him here in Columbus, so hopefully that relationship they developed, if David is here, they're going to continue to build upon it and make it even better.
It's important, right? You come over from, he was a European guy who's played in North America. He comes over here and gets to the National Hockey League and has big expectations on himself. And very disappointed last year when he got sent down. And there was a lot written about his comments. And I don't mind a little fire from a guy who gets sent down as long as they go learn and back it up. And that's what he did. And when you have a guy like Javi come in, the assistant coach, just a wonderful hockey guy. Easy to love, and he cares about the players, and for him to have that relationship with David, yeah, that's he's being watched with admiring eyes in Javi, in kind of him taking David under his wing as a project and trying to impact his career. So that's another good move by the Blue Jackets this offseason.
Absolutely, it is. All right, so. Here's what's coming up this week, and I told you the guys are going to hit the ice tomorrow. They're going to practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Sunday is a big day here because the Blue Jackets will have an open practice on Sunday at the Ohio Health Ice House. The doors will open at 11:30. The team scrimmage will start at 12:15, and entry is free. The first 1,000 fans to come into the Ice House will get an official Blue Jackets training camp T-shirt courtesy of Ohio Health. There will also be complimentary donuts and coffee from Tim Hortons. That's why I will be here. The Blue Line will also be on site for anybody that's wanting to purchase any items ahead of the upcoming season. Ahead of that open practice, the Blue Jackets will host 2 Get Out and Learn street hockey clinics for first-time participants on McConnell Plaza. They're free. They're 30 minutes. They're presented by Safelite in association with Apex Pros. They're open to boys and girls ages 5 to 12. They start at 10 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. So Sunday is going to be a really big day here, Jody. It is that first time. I know there will be fans here watching practices, but it's that day of the scrimmages where the people come and they load up that ice house and where you really feel like you're back.
Yeah, and every time you get in there and you see the new team and it's the start of a new season, it's hard to believe it's here, but it's excitement. And to see our fans, to know how great the fan base here is here with the Blue Jackets, their passion, and then to interact with them on Sunday, that'll be fun. It is the start of camp for us. I know the players have started today, but that's the start for us when we get to see the fans, the buzz, and the players play against each other.
Yep, and then the day after that, I'll be in Buffalo for a preseason game. So
nice.
It is here. It is here. Great to have you back, my friend.
Nice to be back, Bob.
Good to see you.
Good work.
All right, that is Jody Shelley. I'm Bob McElligott, and thank you for joining us for the first edition of the Inside Edge for the brand new 2024-25 Blue Jackets season right here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keep making plans to learn more.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for up to 72 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/24.
With so much happening every day,
ABC6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
Do you believe Columbus City Schools is in a PR crisis?
Central Ohio's most experienced team of reporters, persistent in getting answers to the questions you're asking.
Are you worried about how people are going to react?
And when you need us, ABC6 News is on your side, finding solutions.
6 on your side, they're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC6 News to be on your side.
ABC Tonight.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Joan's getting a second chance.
This is about everybody like me, navigating, trying to find love at this age.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't have hope.
Because love never ages.
Golden age doesn't mean you're old. Old is a state of mind. I got a lot of living to do.
The Golden Bachelorette. Tonight at 8 on ABC6.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore